Who are you and where are you from?
I am Casey Wilen, and I am from Decatur, Illinois.
What do you do?
I teach high school art, but I also sculpt and paint and draw, work in clay, all sorts of things.
What's your favorite color?
Green.
What is your most used medium?
That's a tough one. I dabble in a lot of things. I'd say most people know me for painting and sculpture, but I really like to do just about anything, whatever I feel at the time.
What environment inspires you the most?
Old buildings. Old buildings, basements in old buildings, things that are ruined.
If you could hang out with an artist today, dead or alive, who would it be?
Francis Bacon. Always liked his painting. Figured he'd be an interesting person to talk to because he had a pretty dark life.
Who's your favorite local artist?
Besides myself?
Yes.
You know, I think I have a lot of local artists I like for various reasons. One of my friends, Ed Lozano, I really like his work because it harkens to a lot of the comic book things I loved as a kid. You know, so I would say he is one of my favorites. Also this guy I know, JD, because he is just too darn good. And his realism makes me jealous.
Where did your creativity come from?
You know, I'd say it kind of runs in the family. My father was a carpenter for a long time, and he built a lot of things. But it was just, I always liked moving my hands and making things. From the moment I had Legos, I started building worlds.
What do you think the role of the artist is in society?
So many options to answer that question. I think an artist's role is to have people stop and look at things in a different way. Have them, maybe they'll have a preconceived view about something, and through experiencing art and seeing it, they will change their viewpoint, or at least open themselves up to something different.
Do you have any hobbies that are not art related?
Gardening. I garden, I grow plants, I grow pineapples in my basement. Yeah, I like to grow things.
What was your favorite art experience?
Favorite art experience? I think it was when I was in the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam. I was looking at Van Gogh's Pink Peach Tree. And across the room, everybody else with their headphones in that were given to them by the museum was looking at Van Gogh's Potato Eaters. And I sat there staring at the Pink Peach Tree for about 45 minutes. And slowly, people started coming over and sitting on the bench beside me because they were wondering what I was doing, not looking at the Potato Eaters, but then they started looking at his Pink Peach Tree, which, in my mind's better painting, but also it was just kind of this crystallizing experience to have people realize, like, don't follow the set program of how you view art. Find the thing you want to see. So it was a really nice experience as, you know, about 20 people joined me on the other side of the gallery.
Do you have a specific recognizable style?
A lot of people would say I do a lot of very industrial, post-apocalyptic things. There's a lot of years. I guess I have a style. I didn't ever intend to have a specific style. I think it just came out of watching too many Don Bluth movies as a kid, and dark, muted colors and things like that.
Do you have any pets?
I have a dog. His name is Reese. He's a corgi. He farts too much. I have an annoying cat with no soul. Her name's Phantom. And, well, there's 3 fish now, not 5. A few died the other day.
What piece are you most proud of?
This guy right here. It's a little piece, kind of wiggles, but this piece changed my mind about sculpture because I was pulled into a class last summer for my master's, and it was a fiber arts class, and I was worried I was going to be doing embroidery and felting the whole time, and a huge chunk of it was, and I was not happy working with those mediums. But then we got into doing some woven stuff, and my background was in metal sculpture, and I thought about weaving as a thing, and I started looking at basketry fibers and things like this, and I thought, well, how could I use more industrial materials, because I like those. And it kind of opened up the idea of zip ties and plastic and this type of banding material, and it completely changed all my thoughts on sculpture. And now all I do is make these kind of woven, odd, found object things out of this stuff, whereas before I must use metal, I must weld. So I like this piece because it changed the direction of my sculptural work, and since then I can't stop sculpting. I've got like 20 of these things.
What's the most memorable response you've had to your art?
I brought home a painting and I hung it on the wall of my living room, and I didn't tell my wife. And it took her about 2 days to realize I had changed the painting. It was a busy week, and I think she was pregnant with our third child at that time, so she was distracted. But when she looked up and realized that it had changed, she kind of started to tear up and cry because she liked that painting so much more than the previous one that was up there. She probably doesn't even remember that. It was late in that pregnancy.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
When we're talking when it comes to making art or just in general?
Either.
Don't stop. Just don't stop doing. My dad told me that. Just whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Have faith that it'll work out, and you know, just roll with it. And if you like doing something, like, you can't waste time. If you enjoy what you're doing, you're not wasting time. So if you just keep doing what you do, you'll be happy.
How would you like your art to affect others?
You know, I just like people to enjoy it. I'd like them to, you know, look at it, come to their own conclusions, but also, I don't know, just, art is one of those things where the viewer has to be ready to receive the art, and it has to be available to them to view. So it's a two-way street. It's a give and take. So I would like people to receive it and enjoy it on their terms, or they can hate it and say it's terrible. You know, it's really kind of up to them. I'm going to keep making it no matter what.
What are your professional goals?
I'm going to finish my master's degree this summer, and after that I really want to get into my own studio, which I should be doing soon, and start really working at making art and getting into more galleries and having more showings. Eventually I would like to be an art professor instead of a high school teacher, even though I love all of you over there. Well, I'm just going to follow you to college. But ultimately I'd like to be an art professor and a artist who's having more of a working artist approach and being part of a larger art community.
What's your dream project?
I want to make a really big park full of really weird, rusty sculptures that are woven together, a lot like the City Museum in St. Louis, but more of a natural setting instead of an urban setting. I want to have huge structures out in fields with grass and flowers, and plants can grow up the sculptures and around them.
What advice do you have for new artists?
Make art. Make a whole lot of art. Just keep making art. Don't stop making art. Make bad art. Make good art. Every piece you make will get you a little closer to where you want to be. And if you do that, eventually you'll be great at it. I had a friend who was a DJ in college, and he read this book by a famous hip-hop DJ. I don't remember who it was, but the guy said, if you want to be great at something, lock yourself in a room for 8 hours a day and do nothing but that. And that's what my buddy Mark did with his 2 turntables for a summer, and he got pretty good. So it's just one of those things where if you're going to do art, do it all the time. Don't stop.
All right. Thanks, Casey.
Yep.